Thank you, sir. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach the full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. We are indeed honored to have one such person as the chief guest, Padma Shri D.R. Karthikeyan, Advisor, Law Human Responsibilities, Corporate Affairs, and former Director General, National Human Rights Commission. He started his illustrious career in Indian Police Service. His passion towards his service enabled him to serve in numerous positions. Sir, the dais is all yours.
Vanakkam. Good morning to all of you. The visionary chairman of this great institution, Dr. Balasubramaniam, the eminent scientist who delivered a beautiful address today, this morning to us, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Sivathana Pillai, the missionary trustee, Dr. M.P. Vijay Kumar, the young and dynamic trustee and managing director of Pannariyamman Sugars, Mr. Saravanan Balasubramaniam, the dynamic principal, Dr. D. Saravanan, members of the governing council, Dr. Sirohi, Dr. Subayan, Mr. Narendra, Mr. Samadhanam, Mr. Gundan, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Adiseshaya, Chief Executive, Mr. Natarajan, learned members of the faculty, and my dear young students. It's a great honor to be here, and I've been coming here again and again. But every time I come, I find some new institution cropping up, something which is better than the previous institutions. That is possible because you have got a very unique chairman. Educational institutions are required, but many of the educational institutions are created as commercial ventures. Here is a man, a visionary, who poured crores of rupees, not only the money, but also his time and energy in creating this institution, his dream project. In 20 years, so much has been done, which is very rarely seen anywhere else. 20 years is not much in the life of an institution. But in these 20 years, we heard from the eminent members of the governing council, especially the representative of the UGC who was here, telling it deserves to be a university. Many of the universities do not have even half of this infrastructure here. As this was explained in the morning, perhaps in the space is 5.5 acres, there is 200 acres of land. And the built-up area, 3 more engineering colleges could have been built here. But he wants everything to be the best. And I greatly admire because he's a very close friend, I cannot talk much about it. Very embarrassing to praise a friend. But still I have to say this much because it's a reality. And even now for him, there are many other institutions, for him this is dear to his heart. And you are all fortunate. I want to congratulate all of you for choosing this great institution to do your course. Okay? Once in a way you should clap hands because it's a good exercise, clap is acupressure also. Okay? And when you see any society which does not recognize, honor people who deserve to be honored will not progress. So, giving up my reluctance, I am saying all this because it's a lesson for all of you. I compliment your parents also for choosing this place. And at a time when people were starting poor educational institutions only in cities, he had the courage to start this institution in a rural area, and because of which the bulk of the students from rural areas are benefited. I think I got some figures somewhere. How many students have gone? 13,000 students, I think, have already left this institution. Graduates gone to various places. And they're all in good positions. And Dr. Vijay Kumar was telling about certain restrictions and imposed on your own interest. And that is why the parents, or particularly of the girl students, have the confidence. They want to send their girls here because they know they are safe and very well disciplined and good habits are here. You heard just now from the eminent scientist about our achievements in various fields under the guidance of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And we are as good as the rest of the world in the nuclear science, and perhaps we are in the foremost in space science also, we have seen. It's a great potential for all that. Yes, here is the record, 13,295 graduates have gone out of this institution. Today the strength is 6,300, out of whom the girls' strength is 2,378, 463 faculty members. PhD holders are 147, and women faculty with PhD 34, and women faculty is 164. So that means the gender justice, which is, there is a lot of cry about women justice, justice is fully done here. And then the placements also, 1120 students have been placed in 95 companies in the latest batch. These are all achievements, no doubt. Now, ultimately, we also see from various studies and NASSCOM and others telling hardly 25–30% of the graduates are employable. They hold a degree, but they are not fit enough to be given a job. So I think campuses like Infosys, they give further training. That's all many of the engineering colleges have been closed down also. Here you are maintaining the high standard because the visionary management have been able to provide all the facilities, they take the right type of faculty, give them all incentives, encouragement, recognition, and it all depends upon the dedication of not only the faculty, but the facilities provided. World-class facilities are given. The library is, perhaps the best in the country. Every field of activity, you have seen that. So high-quality, dedicated professionals are key to development of any nation. Architects, engineers, and doctors play a vital role in building infrastructure. Many factors contribute, and particularly the dedication of the faculty, the library, infrastructure, facilities, and all that. According to Aspiring Minds National Employability Report, which is based on a study of more than 150,000 engineering students who graduated in 2015 from over 650 colleges, they say, the Economic Times says that, recent Economic Times, 80% of them are unemployable. So we just don't want to just produce, degree holders. We want people to go out with a degree, with knowledge, not only knowledge, as was earlier mentioned, the skill to do the job. So our democratic dividend is we are the youngest nation. That is about 60–70% of the population going to be less than 30. But whether they will remain to be asset, dividend, or liability depends upon the knowledge and skills they have, and more opportunities are being given. And I must compliment the chairman also for bringing in eminent personalities in the governing council from various walks of life. It was a treat to listen to these experts, and we have various suggestions, and I'm sure this is going to be enriched. In the near future, you will see more and more courses are going to options, elective subjects are being offered, because with that only, either you become a startup project, you start yourself, or become, employed anywhere else, you will be in the foremost, that will help you. Now, here, this institution is not just producing managers. The intention of Dr. Balasubramanian is to produce leaders. And for that, the manager just administers, whereas the leader innovates. The manager maintains, the leader develops. The manager relies on systems, the leader relies on people. The manager counts on controls, the leader counts on trust. The manager does things right, the leader does the right thing. This is what the world famous Fortune magazine says. So it's a question of, ultimately it's not only the knowledge and skill, which is our attitude is attitude. If Dr. Abdul Kalam is an eminent scientist, but I used to tell him also, there are scientists equally competent. I'm sure Dr. Sivathana Pillai will agree with me. But what distinguished him, what made him the darling of the nation was his attitude and the humility. The same qualities I admire in Dr. Balasubramanian. I've seen him for the last 30, 40 years' time. As they say, the higher you go, humbler you become. In our parlance, you say, in the bullet is concerned, smoother the bullet, farther it goes like that. It is your attitude, your humility, which is going to ultimately decide whether you're a successful individual, a happy family, or you are an entrepreneur, or going to be a useful employee anywhere. Attitude and soft skills are very, very important. So position gives authority, and authority gives power, but only good behavior gets respect. That is something which you can learn from the leadership here. Everybody is concerned. All commitment is there also. See, after all, Mahatma Gandhi, what power did he have? But he enjoyed the trust of the people, so the whole nation walked behind him. Same way, even today, Dr. Abdul Kalam is admired. I'm happy. I quoted President Pranab Mukherjee addressing the gathering in Rameshwaram on the 40th day. He said, Dr. Abdul Kalam is people's president forever. The sitting president to say that. And you see, look at a man's commitment, love of the nation, integrity, and honesty and loving the people. So all great leaders have shown perseverance. Leaders are to their followers what hope is to the hopeless. How to develop as an effective leader? You must all go out as effective leaders. You must know your purpose. You must make commitment to your goals. You must maintain your reputation. See, integrity is our quality. Reputation is what others think of us. But if we take care of our character integrity, the reputation will take care of itself. It's very, very important. Ultimately, if the chairman has to choose someone to be the principal or whatever it is, knowledge, skill, yes, is important. Ultimately, the dependability and trust and loyalty is very important. Be open-minded. Continuous improvement, innovation, as Dr. Sivathana Pillai was mentioning. Grow other leaders, create leaders. Now, he has chosen somebody and leaves full freedom. That's what yesterday we heard from others, full liberty. Trust them and allow them to function. You must have the capacity to take decisions. Mistakes are committed. Nobody can say we have never committed mistakes in our life. But we can always learn from our mistakes and don't repeat the same mistakes and all that. So, who can be a leader? Who realize the potential of others, who reward the potential, who see others, who see within, and mission, visionary, identifying values that are sacred, inculcating such values among others also. Now, there are certain qualities we all know that, but it's worth repeating. Acknowledge your shortcomings and work to improve them. Be aware of your strengths, but be humble. Stay focused to get a job done. Either do it yourself or delegate it to someone who is more equipped to do the job. While success gives you joy to which you are entitled to, sometimes failures teach you more valuable lessons and make you stronger. People like to help or do business with people they already know. So meet and serve as many people as you can. Nobody, in my knowledge, I know so many people are Nobody has maintained such good relationships for decades together like your chairman. He can maintain relationships for decades together because he has respects inherent dignity in each human being. You must have self-confidence, not arrogance. Ego is the worst of negative qualities. Self-esteem is not being selfish. It is a necessary quality as long as it does not amount to arrogance, that is self-confidence. We train other people how to treat us the way we treat them. We want others to be with us the way we treat others also. So stay away from negative, critical, judgmental, gossiping people. Don't hate anybody, but avoid people who are egoistic, negative, critical of people. Do not treat anyone as your enemy. You can keep safe distance from them. Spend as much time as possible with nature and in beautiful. There is no better environment than what you have got here. It is almost like a university in a park or a forest. We all suffer in Delhi and Bombay and Calcutta, other places. So much of pollution in the air. Here, pure air, clean water, what ambience. I love to walk in these places because everything is green here. It was, as Dr. Vijay Kumar was telling, thousands of trees have been planted. Where will you get this ambience? It's like going to a resort and doing your engineering course here. So, don't be dependent on others to make you happy and fulfilled. Happiness has to come from within ultimately. You should be able to find joy and peace from your own values and righteous living. While on the subject, I would like to tell you the importance of health. Our first duty is to be healthy. First duty is to be healthy, because if I am not healthy, life is a burden on me. Even a day-to-day living is a big burden. God has given each of us the same qualities of. It is for us to maintain it, practicing. I'm glad you are having spiritual practices at least twice a week, I believe. Apart from that, you must have a commitment to yourself, at least 1 hour you can spend. I would like to go to, I had a long conversation with Mr. Narendra Modi when he was contesting the election for the Prime Ministership in Ahmedabad. He was Chief Minister of Gujarat and also candidate for the BJP party, official candidate for Prime Ministership. I asked him the question after a long conversation, where will you find the time and energy to be Chief Minister, which is a full-time job, and are going all over this country every day for campaigning for this? He told me, Mr. Karthikeyan, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 90 minutes of yoga, pranayama, meditation. Without that, I don't start the day. And I've been doing it from younger days, so I don't know what fatigue is. He said, come at 10 o'clock in the night, you will find me in the office here or home office or traveling. I wrote about it in the Tamil magazine, Naamulavar, immediately also. So when I go to management school, sir, where is the time and all that, we are so busy. If a man like Mr. Narendra Modi can find the time to do it, how can you and I say we don't have the time? It's a question of priorities. If you do that, you will find your productivity goes up. You are healthier. Your mind is clearer. You will not get annoyed. You will not get angry in the family or in your office. So the first duty is to be healthy. If we are not doing that, we become a liability to ourselves and our family, and what contribution can we make to an organization or to the nation? So the first duty is to be healthy. That's how, see, when he went to America, Mr. Narendra Modi, it was the Navratra time, he was fasting, everybody knows, the whole world knows. Perhaps he was sipping juice or tea, but the man who practices yoga with him, he says, no sir, he took only water. 6 days, every day, 10 programs, the attention of the whole world was on him. And he never looked tired. It seems, the English papers wrote in America, the last day when the American president gave a banquet for the visiting Indian Prime Minister, everybody was eating a lot of good food there, and he was sipping something. So I said, President Obama asked him, how can you do this? And he only replied was yoga. So Mr. Obama said, I will also start yoga. I am told he does practice yoga now. See, this is India's gift to the world. Now, we have all been working for it last 12, 15 years to make 21st June of every year as World International Yoga Day. We have been working last 14 years. We had even a meeting with Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ashram 3 years back. All of us signed it, sent it to the United Nations Secretary General. Nothing happened. But when the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, goes and addresses the General Assembly, the whole world is practicing yoga. It is beyond religion. It's for the health of the body, mind and spirit. Every country is practicing. Why don't you make it? 21st June is the longest day, And then next month I was in New York. I was told already 150 countries have signed, including Islamic countries. No country opposed it. Now what I'm saying is, this is India's gift to the world. Why can't we do it? You got all the facilities. You got yoga masters here. What a beautiful environment. I know you are doing it, but those who are not doing it, I request you, first thing is please start doing yoga, because you can do any exercise, but yoga gives you the health of the body and mind and spirit. Yoga is treated as a therapeutic. Dr. B.K. Iyengar in Pune is no more now at the age of 96. Doctors from Europe, I have seen them coming here and telling how to treat various diseases through yoga. Because they say this modern medicine, while it cures something, it gives some other problem. There is such a big... So we are fortunate. And here the management is giving you all opportunities. Please make use of this, because that will decide how healthy you are going to be in future. People doing yoga meditation, I can tell you, they will maintain tranquility. First, peace has to start within us. Then in such families, other members of the family also start, why this change, the practice? Only such families can create peaceful societies, and such countries only can give us a peaceful world. So people are not bad by themselves, I can tell you. It's a question of situation, surroundings. There is no need to hate anybody. We have to be able to relate the quality of forgiving us. I'm sure you are all done Vedatri Maharshi's Manavalakkalai, Learned, we all commit mistakes. Nobody can say, I never thought of no bad thought, no bad words. Forgive ourselves, let us not live in guilt. And forgive others also, because forgetting is easier, but forgiving is very difficult, but you should do that. So we create our own heaven or hell. That's very important. And don't indulge in blame game. Nobody is responsible for if I make myself miserable, I'm responsible. Don't blame your wife or husband or father, mother, or your teacher or your colleague and all that. It's a question of our own attitude. That's why they say we make our own life hell or heaven, and no question of indulging in blame game and all that. Now, there are only 6 qualities I want to tell, just say. Faith. Once, all villagers decided to pray for the rain. Mala varana ella poi venditaanga. On the day of prayer, all the people gathered, but only one boy came with an umbrella. எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்தாங்க, ஆனால் ஒருத்தர் மட்டும் கொடை கொண்டு வந்தான். ஏன்னா அவனுக்கு அந்த நம்பிக்கை நம்ம prayer will work. So that type of faith we must have in whatever we do. Then trust, நம்பிக்கை. When you throw a baby in the air, தூக்கி போடுறதுல சில சமயம் விளையாடுறாங்க இல்லையா குழந்தைய, the baby laughs because she knows you will catch her. இந்த குழந்தைய மேலே தூக்கி போடும்போது அப்பாவோ அம்மாவோ குழந்தை பயக்குதா இல்லையே, சிரிச்சுட்டே வருது. ஏன்னா அந்த நம்பிக்கை, அப்பா அம்மா என்ன பிடிச்சுக்குவாங்க நம்பிக்கை. So that much of trust you must have in your professor, teacher. Same with hope. Every night we go to bed without any assurance of being alive the next morning. But still we set the alarms to wake up. இவ்வளவே பேர் போயிடுறோம் இல்லையா தூக்கத்தில், அதுக்காக நாம் எழுந்திருக்கோன்னு பயந்துட்டு இருக்கிறோமா? I planned my visit to New York next week. There is no guarantee I will be alive, because we don't know when the Creator switches off my air, breath. But we plan for next year, we plan for the Silver Jubilee, because hope. So you must have hopes in whatever we do, and confidence. We plan big things for tomorrow in spite of zero knowledge of the future. We want to go to the moon. That is confidence. Then anbu. We see the world suffering. Nariya families la paakrom difficulties within the family. Lot of divorces are taking place now. விவகாரத்தை அதிகமாகிடுது இல்லையா, அதுக்காக நாம் பயந்துட்டு சில பேர் some husbands suffer because of the wife suffers because of the husband. But still we go through marriages. because of the faith in love, then the attitude which I mentioned to you, this is the most important thing in our life, personal life, family life, in our organizations is, on an old man's shirt was written a cute sentence. I am not 60 years old. I am sweet 16 with 44 years of experience. 60 வருஷம் நான் போட்டிருக்காரு நான் 60 வயசாகல எனக்கு நான் 16 வருஷம்தான் ஆனால் 44 வருஷம் அனுபவத்தோடு இருக்கேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So like that, some of the things we can always do it. Now, before I conclude, I just want to say, see, making a living, we all do. But how to make a life? Making a living, vaitu palapkaga. You have to earn some money, you have to run the family and all that. But that is not complete life, it's only part of life. How to live. Again, pardon me for referring to your chairman. He made his living long back. But what he is doing is living a life of purpose. Living a purpose which is of benefit to others also, to the environment, to the society, people who are less fortunate to us. That is the total life. So how to making a living is okay, but what gives a fulfillment is how to live, the art of living. Art of living. We had the World Culture Festival the other day in Delhi. That's why the whole world came to telling India gives us the how to lead a life. India is the leader of the world in this, art of living is concerned, like that. No, so happiness is increasingly considered. GDP, what is GDP? Yes, we are assessing the worth of the nation by the GDP. But that's a wrong assessment. That does not mean the majority of the people are living a happy life or peaceful life. Some lead a luxurious life, some suffer. So what happened was the king of Bhutan, he said, no, that's not true. They said gross national index, happiness index. They put some yardsticks about 12. If all this is met, that means the entire population is happy. So gross national happiness index, first country to adopt was Bhutan, king of Bhutan. 3 years back, the United Nations has adopted it. We are going to have the International Day of Happiness. Tomorrow I'm going to New York. I've been invited for the talk. They say International Day of Happiness. It's not GDP. GDP is a distorted version of the reality. Because, few more people have become millionaires or billionaires, it does not mean there is happiness in the country has increased. We want the happiness of everyone. There should be no poverty, no illiteracy, no disease, no crime, means all less. Then only it will be a happy world. So there is a day is observed as International Day of Happiness. So we should not only make a living, we should live. These are the values somehow to be adopted. I would like to quote only one. Who is the ideal man? Who is the happy man? Who is a man actually? Rudyard Kipling. I know you would have heard it, but I will read it for your benefit slowly, then I conclude. Who is a person? What type of qualities we should imbibe? If you can keep your head when all around you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. You are not at fault, but they blame you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, be lied about but yet not deal in lies. You may be hated but not give way to hating. If you can dream but not make dream your master. If you can think but not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. Here I will stop. Nobody's life is smooth throughout, I can tell you. Ups and downs come in everyone's life. Even the so-called masters, spiritual masters, they've all gone through it, I know very well. But then, you should have the economy to accept them. Accept them, because that you can't get frustrated. So, maintain the economy. Don't get excited when something good happens. Don't get frustrated when something goes wrong. If you can talk to the crowds and keep your virtues, if you can walk with kings and yet not lose common touch. This is what Dr. Abdul Kalam said. He was moving with the greatest of the great in the world, but he was comfortable with the poorest of the poor. The small students in schools also, he was comfortable. If you can, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, don't allow anybody's words or hurt you. If all persons count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything which is in it, and more than anything else, then only we can considered as men. I wish you all Godspeed, wish you all success. Focus, I think what Dr. Vijay Kumar was explaining, some of the rules and all that, don't resent any of them. They're all for your good. You will realize later on what a great thing, these were done. Don't waste your time too much on this. Of course, the Wi-Fi, the cell phone and all that is good, but they have to be used properly. It's like a knife, Knife can be used cutting the fruit, or for a surgery, they can be used also hurt others and hurt ulcers. So we must know how to use it. So not only what you do, but how to do, how to live a life which is a fulfillment to us, to the family, and to the world, and bring pride to this great institution also. Namaskaram.
Thank you, sir. Rewards infuse tremendous amount of enthusiasm to crystallize a goal with confidence and determination. Here we have few winners who should be conferred with scholarships and awards for staying ahead in their journey towards academic excellence. We now request our Honorable Chief Executive, Dr. A.M. Natarajan, to list the prize winners.
எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். I'll be listing out the name of the students of various branches in BE, ME, Engineering and Technology, MCA and MBA, who are brilliant, academically brilliant in each of the branches year-wise. I'll start from Aeronautical Engineering Department.
We now request a chief guest, Padma Shri D.R. Karthikeyan, to distribute the prizes for the gold medalist of Aeronautical, Automobile, Civil, Mechanical, Mechatronics, EEE and E&I departments.
The academically brilliant students in each of the classes, branch-wise, I will be reading out. First, to start with Aeronautical Engineering. First year, Bala Ganapati, 83.72%. Second year, Deepakesh, 83.83%. Third year, Ilan Shelian, 87.53%. Balakanavadi, next, Deepakesh, Ilan Shelian, fourth year, overall performance up to 7th semester, Lavanya, 85.86. Now I move on to Automobile Engineering, first year, Mohammed Anas, 83.61. Next branch, Civil Engineering, first year, Sivaranjani, 88.17. Second year, Senduran, 90.06. Third year, Satya Prabha, 85.95. Fourth year, overall performance up to 7th semester, Gohilambal, 85.19. First year ME Structural Engineering, Prakash, 77.38. Next branch, Mechanical Engineering, first year, Sevagan Chetty, 88.44. Second year, Deepak, 86.17. Third year, Rajesh, 88.47. Fourth year, overall performance up to 7th semester, again same Rajesh, 87.41. First year, ME, CAT-CAM, Tenambiga, 82.06. Next, engineering design, Saumya. Another branch, industrial safety, Periyar Selvam, 78.33. Next branch, mechatronics, first year, Madhu Meena, 90.61. Second year, Kadir Vadivel, 86.44. Third year, Monisha, 85.42. Again, fourth year, overall performance up to 7th semester, same Monisha R, 83.53. Next, we will move on to electrical and electronics engineering. First year, Yuvaraj Kumar, 85.94. Second year, Abhishek, 84.89. Third year goes to Karnika, 89.53. This is K.R. Lakshmi Narayanan Gold Medal. Fourth year, overall performance up to 7th semester, Agila A, 87.77. First year ME, Power Electronics and Drives, Dharani, 85.13. Next branch is Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering. First year, Deepika, 85.17. Second year, Santosh KV, 89.61. Third year, Deepavatani, 89.37. Again, the overall performance up to 7th semester, it is Deepavatani, 87.70.